Hey stranger, I'm doing the dishes, and we're talking about Fat Tuesday and Pączki. As you may have figured out, I'm a little bit behind in my vlog variety posts. Been trying to post every day. Hasn't been that successful. That's all right. I don't have to be perfect. I just want to get 29 videos in the 29-day period. If I miss a few days, it just means I got to make it up another day. Simple enough. Today I want to talk to you about Fat Tuesday, which is coming up. It's a big holiday in this household, I'll tell you what. It goes by many names. We call it Fat Tuesday, and we prefer celebrating it with the Pączki, or the Pączki. It's a Polish tradition. Now, it's called Fat Tuesday, or a Polish derivative of which I can't really pronounce, in Poland. It's called by many other names around the world. Those of French background might know it as Mardi Gras. It's also one of the terms it's known as in the United States. Mardi Gras, of course, is simply the direct French translation of Fat Tuesday. In the British Isles, it's called Shrove Tuesday or Pancake Tuesday. Shrove typically in England, Pancake typically in Ireland, but it kind of goes back and forth due to, immigration and whatnot. It's known as Carnival in some cultures, typically Latin American cultures, most especially Portuguese and Brazilians, and they celebrate it with some flair. Carnival meaning literally without meat or away with meat. I'm not sure on the exact translation, but something along those lines. Now the British celebrate it as Shrove Tuesday, which, like before, same concept, is to eat all the good stuff before Lent. And Shrove comes from the Middle English word shrive, which means to absolve, which is not very too much unlike the Carnival tradition, meaning away with meat or to end meat. It's a Catholic tradition originally, but adopted by Anglicans and various Protestant branches. It's typically the day before Ash Wednesday. Now the idea is, because Lent is coming up, the idea is you got to get rid of all the good stuff because you're giving it up for Lent, which means butter, eggs, cream, flour, sugar, and all the various fruits you might have. And that's the idea of Pączki. And they're giant donuts found in Polish cuisine. The Polish celebration, which also big here in America, at least in the Midwest. I can't really say for anywhere else because we have a lot of Polish immigrants throughout the early 20th century and late 19th century. Now, as I said before, the Irish celebrate Pancake Tuesday. Same concept. It being the last Tuesday before Lent, they had to empty the larder of all the sweets and fatty goods. The Irish did not have Pączki, unfortunately. Although they might now, I would think so. They had pancakes, which not as good, but suitable in a pinch, I suppose. Some other interesting things to note. We call them Pączki. Pączki is the plural. If you say Pączkis, you're technically incorrect, but I don't think anyone's going to really slay you. A singular is a Paczki. Most recently, when my girlfriend was working at the convenience store she does, it sells Pączki. The man came in and tried to argue that in fact it's pronounced Paczki. Of course, she looked it up on her phone that happened to be nearby, which she was not allowed to have, and promptly proved the gentleman wrong. Now, a lot of people wonder why it's spelled the way it is versus the way it's pronounced. And that is because Pączki, it's P-A-C-Z-K-I, right? There's no N, there's no O's or U's. In fact, Pączki is really an Americanized way of pronouncing it. The reason for its pronunciation is the presence of an ogonek on the A, meaning little tail in Polish. That gives it a kind of an or an sort of pronunciation, hence the confusion. So don't go around calling it Paczki or Paczki or Paczki. It's Pączki or Pączki or Pączki. Now, some cultures, typically in Germany, where they go by different names, but they're basically the same principle. They are not eating on Fat Tuesday, but Fat Thursday, that being the last Thursday before Lent, as opposed to the last Tuesday. all depending on the culture. Again, they go by other names. Berliner is one of them. They have been a fixture in Poland since at least the Middle Ages. They were described by one Jedrzej Kitowicz to Augustus III under his reign. It was under the influence of French cooks who came to Poland. The dough was improved, so they became lighter, spongier, more resilient, less heavy. It's according to Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Now, another ingredient, famously illegal during Lent, is alcohol. And that is why, or at least one of the reasons why, Pączki also has alcohol as one of the ingredients when making it. Not just as a fancy means of disposing the illicit beverage, but also because it helps the dough rise and creates a distinctive taste. Many consider delicious. Story time and my discovery of this delicacy. I first discovered Pączki at the age of 11, actually. I didn't know it growing up. Although my family is of Polish descent on my mother's side, that was not a staple of our diet. I discovered it at a supermarket at the age of 11. I immediately fell in love with the dessert. This store rolls out the Pączkis in the dozens. In the meantime, they offer these sampler packs of 3 different varieties. They offer all these flavors. Most of them not traditional Polish by any means, but look at this. Horchata, it's Mexican flavor. You can see that in the background. Unicorn. I don't think that's made with proper unicorn meat. Actually, I think it's just like a raspberry watermelon. Now, if you ever happen to be in Detroit, especially the Polish settlement of Hamtramck, which is a tiny city bordered on all sides of Detroit, you'll find Pączki everywhere. Because Hamtramck, the Polish community, is a very small city, despite that, it has many Polish bakeries. If you walk around that place during this time of year, February, the whole city literally smells like a giant donut. It is delicious, and it was just absolutely heavenly. There they also have an annual Pączki Day parade every Fat Tuesday, which is very popular and very calorie-ridden. Thanks again for stopping by, stranger, while I wash the dishes. I've been Johnny. You're always welcome in my corner of the Polish bakery.